everybody, Caleb here. Today I need a saddle slot routed, and I don't really have a good jig to do that, so I decided to make one. This is the guitar I need routed for, and I don't have a great, router jig to run across. So I asked a friend of mine to model me up some parts to do that, and then I 3D printed them. I thought we'd go through kind of building this together today, and then kind of routing that slot. So I thought we'd do a little bit more focused on putting this thing together, similar to putting my thickness sander together. You know, just kind of building things out of nothing. Let me get a little bit cleaned up, and I'll sit down and show you what I've got so far. All right, so these are all our parts I've got printed here. This will end up being the fence. This goes around the bridge. These parts kind of meet together like this. This was the biggest size we could get to fit on my 3D printer. So the bridge will go in here. You'll set the front edge against the front edge of the bridge, and then this will essentially go on here, and you will tighten that down to get your router line and route it. Now you can see I've got gloves on. These are resin printed, and I'm not entirely certain we've gotten all that resin off, and it's really not great for you, so I'm keeping the gloves on at least for a little while. Ouch. But we've got to get all these supports off and then get them cleaned up and then basically glued together, and then we can route that saddle slot. But yeah, I'm gonna take a little screwdriver, start breaking these apart. So the supports, you just got to break them off, because as this prints, it basically starts as a liquid, and as it builds up, it hardens the liquid. But if you have overhangs, you have to build up support so those overhangs don't droop off. And even then, they did a little bit around the edges. And I think part of that is my resin's too cold. Keep everything in the basement, and it gets kind of cool down here, and the resin doesn't cure quite like it's supposed to. Sometimes. For the most part, it's pretty good, though. That's most of those. Now we need to clean out those insides here. As we go along, it's going to be a little bit more obvious what everything does. But basically, this fence piece, which I'm almost done with here, is for the router to slide across. Oh, I missed supports on the other side, but you can see this now. This is cleaned out. We'll have some bolts that go through here so that we can tighten this thing down, but they'll allow it to kind of change shape on here. Some of this stuff we're going to go out to the disc sander and clean off. But for starters, it's easier if I knock off what I can in here. So we're taking less off out there, especially stuff I can just knock off with a screwdriver. This stuff I think I'm just going to take out to the disc sander so we get it nice and flat. So basically this is done. We'll set that aside somewhere over here. And then we'll look at these. And then you'll see on this side, there's recessed holes for the heads of the bolts that we're going to put in there. This is the perks of knowing somebody who's good at 3D modeling, is you can send him a picture of somebody else's and go, hey, can you make this for me? Okay, that's looking pretty good. We'll finish this off on the disc sander outside. As well, they're joining faces here, which are these two. They'll join just like this. You can probably tell that gap's not super smooth. We'll finish that off on the disc sander. We'll take a little bit off and make it all line up really good. Okay. The other thing is I didn't print these parts solid. They're not solid all the way through. They've got, I think, like 3mm walls, and then it's about 30% infill. So 70% of the inside of this, after 3mm thick on each side, is hollow. On resin printers, when you do that, you have to drill a hole and let the resin leak out from the hollow spots. So that's what this here's for. And you can see there was one on this side, and it got covered up by some overflow, as well as this one has a bunch of them. So none of these parts are solid. It really saves you a lot of money on resin as you go. But I think we're ready to go outside to the disc sander. So let me get ready to do that. But you can kind of see how this is going to work now. So this is the bottom side. This is the side that will go against the guitar once we get there. So we've got a recessed hole for the head of this bolt to slide around in. This will be the top. And once this is flat, you can see the slot lines up with these slots, so you can slide your bolts up and down or around, and then you'll just tighten that down and run your router like this across the bridge. It should be good. I think it looks good. We just need to go take some sanding off here and do a little bit more cleanup. A couple of things, but it's looking good so far. So let's go outside. Okay. It may sound funny because I'm still in my mask. That was fun. So we sanded these down quite a bit. What I noticed while I was out there was I still need to kind of file these insides, clean them up just a little bit more, and then we'd be ready to really get something done here. I had to ditch my gloves because the sander and my gloves don't agree. So, let's grab a little file here. By little, I mean a big one. Let's think about some of these slots. Okay. This might be fun. This should be a 1/4 inch slot. So let's grab a 1/4 inch dowel. And a little bit of wiggle room's not horrible, but this is going to be too small. Yeah, okay. Fun, fun, fun. So I think I'm actually doing the right thing here. What we might do is clamp this up and get a flat file and see if we can't even her out. Because we're going to need to take some this way. So here's the thing I'm thinking about while I'm doing this. These holes, I asked for them to be a 1/4 inch. Which means that when they were modeled, they were probably exactly 250 thousandths of an inch. Exactly 1/4 of an inch. Which means that there would be exactly no play if you stuck a precision machined 1/4 inch piece of something in there. And then I printed it, and we got a little bit of wobble in there. You know, that's kind of to be expected with some 3D printing. It's not going to be like precision machined parts, but I probably should have asked for a slightly bigger slot, and I wouldn't have quite as much sanding to do. I'm going to have to do both of these parts this way. To be accurate, I'm going to have to do all 3 of these parts this way. I suspect the fence needs it just as much as anything else. Alright, skip ahead a little bit, but we're fitting 1/4 inch bolts in all of our holes. That's the wrong way around, but that's the good news. I'm going to go prime these things. Put a little coat of primer on them and then a little coat of clear coat on them just to kind of keep longevity. Smooth them out a little bit. I have made a massive mess. Such as working with plastics, but I should go prime them. We might have to sand these edges to re-glue them back together. I might do that first, actually, now that I think about it. It may make more sense to join our edges on the big piece and then go paint it. Alright, so I got 2 pieces of flat something here, and then I'm hoping I can kind of work this on. And I think I'm just going to use some super glue. Alright, that looks good. I might just take a tiny bit of sandpaper and knock this off, but I think we're going to go prime this, because we got one solid piece now. Yeah, it's not like going to be like super solid, but you shouldn't be throwing this thing, so we should be good. Let me go do that, and we'll see where we are from there. Okay, so I just brought this back in. It's a little dusty, but so am I. I kind of wanted you to see this here. I know these are like way too long, really, but this will kind of give you an idea of what we can do with this. We tighten these up, and then that locks that in, so it won't move. But then we can loosen them, and we can get our angle for our saddle. Whichever way it is, you know, right or left-handed, whatever we want. We'll get what we like. We lock that in. And then the router will run right against there, cutting our slot. Now the only thing that's left to make it functional, I recognize these are kind of tall. Probably want to cut those down, but the only thing left to make this functional, I was thinking was, I don't really want to put this right on a guitar top, so it'd be nice to have something to set in between it. So I ordered a set of these cheap, they're meant for like homemade coasters. They're stick-on cork pads. I figure we'll use a couple of them, and then we'll have a nice soft bottom, so that this won't scratch up any guitar tops. All I gotta do is peel and stick. I'm gonna go dead center first. I may need to cut these guys up, but that's okay. Grab something sharp. Okay, that should be pretty good. I mean, that should be good enough, obviously. That'll protect our guitar top as we set it on there. And then we should be able to ride our router base along here for routing our slot. I got a little piece left over. I'll probably just cut that up and fill that in, but really, that's cool. I dig it. I'll probably end up cutting these off at some point just to make them, you know, only up, but there. That's just the screws I had available. And I wasn't totally sure how long I wanted those to be, but that's how long I got them. I think this is going to work good. The next thing will be to put this on the actual guitar top and see what she looks like. Alright, well, I got this all set up right where I want it to be. And you can kind of see what this really is going to look like now. I went ahead and clamped it right here. This is stuck pretty good. It's not moving. It's not going anywhere. I'm pretty happy with it. But basically, we're going to take my Dremel tool here on its little base, and cut that slot. And I'm pretty sure I've got it set right where I want it. All I got to do now is basically do it. So that's kind of where we're at. Now I'm going to make sure I get some glasses on. Oh, I'm going to make sure I get some glasses I can see through on. I think we're going to cut this thing. Let me move the microphone a little bit away. Alright, that was a really shallow cut, but I want to see where we went, and we did perfect. So we'll cut a little bit deeper this time. Actually, I think that's just about it. That looks really good. I'm gonna go a hair deeper. Okay. Very clean, very cool. There's a saddle slot. I hope you enjoyed watching this this little build we did for this jig. I kind of wanted to focus on getting it done. You'll see the rest of this guitar in another separate video, but I wanted to focus on this jig, and it works. It works great. I can't complain at all. The only thing, you know, these could be a little shorter. These would. You could also still clamp this. I could get some bigger ones of these and clamp this out here. I could probably still clamp it all the way out here if I got the right clamps. But really, this wasn't bad. This moves pretty good. I mean, it doesn't move, which is good. It's perfect. Great saddle slot cut. All in all, this took a couple hours, you know. I mean, it was probably like 6 hours of printing per piece. So 6, 12, and then probably only like 3 for this. So 15 hours on the 3D printer, but I mean, I have saved money, I know it, compared to going to buy a jig like this. If you're interested in finding my exact models, because you don't have to print this on a resin printer, you can print this on a regular filament printer as well. You can email me, I'll send you the files if that's something somebody out there is interested in. These were made for me by a friend of mine, and once again, I'd like to thank him for all the work that he put in. My only thing, I've got another one of these middle things, the fence, where it's connected on the outsides, and that's probably the one you want. I've noticed these have a little bit of flex in them. What would probably be best, and I may ask for this at some point, is one that's got both, the center and connected on the outsides, so that it's really solid. That would be my only contribution to what I think might need to be changed. Otherwise, this thing works great. It's, to give you an idea on measurements, I'm pretty sure it's a 1/2 inch tall, so it would be taller than any guitar bridges. With the cork, it's probably a little bit above that. Yeah, I'm at 579 thousandths, so a little above a 1/2 inch. And then lengthwise, she's running 11 by 9, and that's all together. So these were in smaller pieces. So these were in, you know, 5.5 inch pieces, 5.5 by 9. This was the maximum size that would fit on my printer, so that's why we went with that. But cool, I'm super happy with that. And now I've got a piece of equipment that I built, that I personally had modeled, I didn't have to go pay for. This is great. Once again, thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next time, which will be this guitar.